There aren't many things on my bucket list, but one was taking Maggie to the beach in the storybook town of Carmel by the Sea. So when we had a chance to go to California with the dogs, to take our old 16-year-old dog out to see Mimi, whom he loves very much, we decided we would try. Randy would already be out there for work, and if I could drive the camper and the dogs out there, he and I could have a couple weeks in California to visit with Milana and to enjoy a 2-week working camping trip. But the cross-country part would be just me, solo. So I spent the fall learning how to camp by myself, which was not something I really wanted to do, but I managed, more or less. I got to practice on a 2-week Thanksgiving camping trip to Florida, ending in Savannah. Over Christmas, we went up to Charlotte and camped, saw friends, saw the lights and the programs at the Billy Graham Library. But mostly in December, we rested from camping and enjoyed Atlanta. Went to the award-winning light show at the Botanical Gardens. Because we just went to a great concert.
Yes.
Raul Malo at City Winery.
But we're still a little bit hungry.
We are. The wine was great, the food was small.
Luckily, we're at Ponce City Market.
Right, so we'll go eat. And before I knew it, it was New Year's 2024 and time for me to leave on my 2,500-mile trip. I needed one more little camping lesson. This is why we do not bring the camper to our house very often. This is what it looks like. You have learned the trick.
Yeah, here is the trick.
All right.
You have to point the part where the rail is sliced off.
Yes.
That has to be toward the camp.
Oh.
Then, once it's in place, then you can move it around. Last few things, including the dogs. We're going to find out if Hank wants to go or not.
Yep, we're leaving this up to Hank.
Come
There's
on,
the
buddy.
campers here. We've already had a very exciting morning trying to get the camper
Come on, buddy.
arranged on our street.
All right, are you getting in? You want to go? You want to go? Here, you want to hold him?
He does.
There we go.
He did it.
Come on, Maggie.
I don't know what quality footage that was. Perhaps pretty bad. I kind of forgot I was doing that.
There you go, Maggie.
But he's in.
All right. There everyone is, all ready to go. Like I see him for a little over a week. All right, so. All right, honey.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Be safe.
Thought you were coming. This is very strange. Average fuel economy, 33.1 miles per gallon.
Well, that's over with.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know what I was asking Randy at this time either, except worrying about moving and afraid to move. But what's the worst that could happen?
Hi, honey. I love you. Okay. Okay. No. I don't think so. Just go slow. Shit.
Okay, that seems really dramatic, but honestly, the camper was fine. We didn't take any pictures right that minute when we checked it, but here's a picture from later in the trip. I don't know what the noise was. So my plan that day was to drive from Atlanta to Demopolis, Alabama, taking US 80 through Montgomery and Selma, stopping and seeing some parks and some historic landmarks that I wanted to incorporate in my trip. To plan my trip, I used RV Trip Wizard, which is, I don't have any sponsors, so they're not a sponsor, but I would recommend them highly. It's worth a subscription to plan your camping trip. It's great. All right, so I'm underway, and it was a weird feeling this morning leaving home without anybody else except the dogs. Yeah, usually for a trip I feel very excited and very happy, and today I just felt weird and nervous. So I'm at a Buc-ee's in Auburn. I got gas and I did not hit anything. And I'm going to walk the dogs around a little bit, take a little break here, and then my first real stop is actually a dog park where they can have hopefully a lot of fun. But Hank did decide to come, so he's here too. And I'm on my way. So here at Buc-ee's, I bought milk because I didn't bring any milk with me. And I went to put milk in the camper and found out that Randy had locked the camper, put my keys to the camper inside. So someone's got to bring me keys to the camper. But I'm not going all the way back to Atlanta this time. I'm really not. I am at Keisel Dog Park in Auburn. And the dogs and I are going to get to know Auburn a little bit because Randy's going to have to come join us and bring me a key to the camper. So that should take him a couple hours to get here. And then he wants us to have a nice lunch, which will be nice. And then I'll get a much later start than I planned. But that's okay. I just won't stop in Montgomery or Selma. I'll just say hi to those cities as we pass by. That's fine. And I can get in after dark. It's not the end of the world. So this is a really nice park, Keisel Park. If your dog is under voice control, you don't have to have him on a leash at all. So as long as I've got him one by one, I think I'm fine. And treats in my pocket for Maggie. What do you think, old man? This is just the best dog park. So there's also a dog resort across the way that has a dog wash. So after you have played here at the park, you can take your dog over and get them clean. Auburn proved tricky for me to park the camper, so I did not go all the way to Atlanta, but I did meet Randy in LaGrange. Okay, so Randy came down to LaGrange to bring me the camper key, and it was not locked. It's just that I can't open this camper sometimes, which is also that's a bigger problem, maybe even.
Yeah.
Honestly. All right, so you shut it again.
I shut it.
All right.
Yes, it's just gonna open this time.
No. But it did not open. I pulled and pulled and pulled.
It was on like a unlevel, twisted side.
I pulled and pulled and
Where
pulled.
was it?
Buc-ee's.
So you were probably level.
I seemed level. You hear Pepper crying?
I do. She's okay.
Oh look, I parked on the curb. That is not even funny because I could not open it.
But I do have a present for you.
What is this?
It is a keychain. You're gonna have to start rebuilding your keychain.
It's fishy. It's a very fishy door. So what am I gonna do if I get to? I guess I'll just know it's definitely not locked and just ram it harder.
I guess so.
But it felt very locked. I mean, I could not open it.
Okay, so now when
So
it's locked,
it won't open at all.
yeah, you can feel it. Here, feel it when it's locked. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. That's locked.
All right. So
That's not how it felt.
put the first key on your keychain here. Probably needs some extra little loops or something, but anyway, it's locked now. A really nice thing about traveling in winter, it was cool enough to leave the puppies in the car while we went and got pizza. So next time we're in LaGrange, we're going to go to Charlie Joseph's, or at least I do. I'm not sure Randy can eat there. We did find a place with good gluten-free pizza, and LaGrange looks cute. I'd like to go back and explore it some other day, on purpose. boy. Well, at least we get some pizza out of it.
Oh, well, thanks for laughing. So, after about a 3.5 hour delay, I was back on the road. So this hasn't been the day I expected it to be, but there are some nice things. The weather has been beautiful, so that's really been good. And because I got an early start, even with the little detour, I'm still getting in fairly early. So that's good. And I feel like there was something else I was just thinking that was really good about today. Oh, well, the dog park that we found was amazing. That was really cool. Yeah, that dog park was amazing. And now I'm just driving through very nice agricultural land in southwest Alabama. That black soil is why this is called the Black Belt of Alabama. And it's why there are so many plantations down here. And it's why there were the descendants of enslaved Africans who stayed on and then were not able to exercise their right to vote in the 1960s. It is also historic because it used to be the main southern east-west route all the way across the country. It doesn't go all the way across the country anymore because they used part of the route when they built the interstate system. But it used to go from, I believe it's around Savannah, maybe Charleston, one of the two major coastal southern cities, all the way to San Diego. So it's sort of the route I'm following, or at least the ghost or the echo of this route all the way. One of the things I was going to stop and see, by the way, was the National Voting Rights Museum, which is right over there. But this is the Edmund Pettus Bridge, which is notorious for of the marchers who were marching for civil rights from Selma to Montgomery. And this is the bridge where the Alabama State Patrol, I believe, made a stand and beat the marchers. And this is Selma. I really wish I had time to stop and at least walk around. The interpretive center is closed today, so I wasn't going to be able to visit that anyway. I have to save it for another day. A bad thing about traveling in winter is, of course, it gets dark early. I had to stay really far south, so it wasn't too bad. I was trying to avoid any snow and ice. So I still got into Demopolis before dark and was able to set up my campsite for the first time on this trip. So here I am. It was a great campsite, by the way. Very level, very easy to get in and out of. I really liked that campground for my first night out. This was my first night, but honestly, I still have trouble with these things. And between you and me, if it's a level site, sometimes I just give up. The next day, my plan was just to walk the dogs around the campground, see the area just a little bit, and then head on. I did have one final setup task to finish. Pepper. Okay, I have to figure out how to work this bike cover. Okay, I put it on late last night in the dark. Well, it wasn't really late, but it was dark. So let's see what I can do about attaching it. There's lots of clips that I have no idea what they do, really. But maybe I'll figure it out. Maybe. The forecast is for snow, but it's not below freezing, so it won't be a problem. We kind of need to see some snow. We don't think Pepper's seen snow yet. So I can't really capture the craziness of these guys, and I probably should be embarrassed that they're this crazy. Because when the craziness is happening, the phone is usually flying and hitting the ground somewhere. But there's supposed to be a mile-long nature trail, and I'm hoping maybe it even goes all the way to the lock. Looks like there's a place you can rent kayaks, maybe. I see life jackets and some kind of paddling thing. It's really pretty here. It's very quiet. Of course, it's January, but it can be quiet anyway. We're just going to have to learn to fish someday, because like so many campgrounds, this one would be really appealing if you fished. There's also another whole section of the campground that's a little more wooded by this creek. Nothing says a southern winter like buzzards gathering. So it turned out you did have to drive over to the lock and dam, which I did, and no one was fishing except for some egrets, and there were quite a few of those that morning. The day was not that pretty, as you can see. It did not actually snow on us, but it did look like it was going to at any minute. I did drive into the town of Demopolis. It was neat because it's one of those southern towns that you don't see. They're not on 20. You don't stop there just on a whim. You have to actually go there. When you're there, you can tour at least one antebellum home. I did not do that while I was there. I just drove around. So the only homes I saw were just from the road. Little piece of trivia. According to the internet, their city park is the oldest one in Alabama. This is a part of the trip I'd like to do again, only I'd like to spend 2 or 3 nights at Foscoe Creek. And then you could, eat a meal in Demopolis, walk around, tour Gaineswood. I got the trailer hooked up, and it really only took like 15 minutes for the actual hookup, even though I felt like it took me forever just to find the stupid hitch when I was backing up. But I did it, and now we are on our way to Jackson, Mississippi, where there are many dog parks, but we're going to the one that's the first dog park, so that's our next stop after I get gas, which will hopefully be completely uneventful and not interesting at all. And that was it. My trip was underway. That night, I'd spend the night in Natchez and be surprised by this amazing southern city.